For a Transformer character to appear in the cartoon and not get some kind of toy, they usually have to do something really, really weird, like turn into a plant or something like that, or be voiced by Adam Baldwin, apparently, because this poor guy only came out in Japan. We are looking at the ARMS Micron version of Breakdown, which is technically named War Breakdown. I'm not entirely sure what the added war part is necessary for, but hey, that's what it is. So yeah, as you can see, cast in solid blue all the way around. It's a nice deep shade, not too bright, not too dark, about spot on. And he is a heavy, heavy truck, kind of weirdly proportioned. It's an extremely tall truck going on. It kind of reminds me of almost like an armored car that would be hauling money from banks, that kind of armored car. And it looks really cool. Like, it's a very suitable vehicle for a Decepticon to be taking on outside of your usual jets and tanks. It still gives it an attitude while still maintaining its road vehicle look. As you can see, not a lot of paint going on this guy. There's some translucence in the windows, but not really terribly exciting. Nothing really going on inside them. A little bit of silver right there for the rear view mirrors. Some gray for the bumper, as well as some silver for the front grille. And that really is just about it. There's not a whole lot else going on as far as paint, and that's entirely intentional. If you've never bought anything from the ARMS Micron line, they had a big thing where they wanted kids to be able to sticker the figures. So a lot of the decals are self-applied and not painted. It's just your usual paper stickers. And that was to give them more of a customizing feel. Like, they even had like little tips on how to customize and create your own little accessories for these guys. It was kind of an interesting idea. It was to make them feel like they were involved in the creation of the toy. And they haven't done it since, so you can probably guess how that worked out. It's kind of a detriment in some ways. Like, in one way, we get some pretty detailed spots. You can see multiple shapes going through some of the stickers that would be a little bit harder to tampograph on there. You get more fine detail lines, and you'll see more in robot mode. A lot more stickers in robot mode. But of course, they are just paper stickers, and they kind of lead to a few detriments. Even the windshields, those little black pieces up here and top up here. And yeah, the chrome on the bumper is completely done in these chrome stickers. It start to peel off and start coming up a little bit. That's what I hate about these, especially on a Transformer, because there's so many moving parts. It's very easy to start taking stickers off and for things to start coming undone. I get frustrated with this many stickers on the figure, but hey, that's just one man's opinion. So beyond that, not a whole lot of playability. He does have a roll to him. 4 big wheels will ensure that. And aside from a lot of interesting molding, and well, interesting as far as armored trucks go, because he does have to be pretty flat to look as heavy duty as he does, there's a ton of ports on this toy. Like, let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spots. 11 ports for 5mm weapons to go, and a C-clip on the back just for good measure. That was kind of the gimmick of the line. If you actually took a look at the ARMS Micron line, a lot of them had extra 5mm ports glued onto the existing figures, and in some cases molded for them straight up, like this guy. And that's all to facilitate the Micron gimmick, which we might as well take a look at now, just so you get the idea. Behold, Breakdown's partner in this line is not Knockout, but it is Zamu, this little Micron rhino. It's kind of endearing. This is kind of a cute little guy. He's got the right bulk and shape for a rhino for the most part, and that little Cyclops eye and the horn, I don't know, this kind of appeals to me. I understand why some people really liked collecting these things. Now, the Microns came as model kits that you had to build yourself. Again, this is kind of giving you the feel of customizing your own toys. And he's heavily stickered as a result. This guy was in straight gray plastic. Everything else is decals and decals coming up, as you can see. Ugh. I'm gonna have to take some Elmers to these two later on. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty much that simple. He does have a spark crystal, interestingly enough. You can see the Decepticon emblem there at the bottom on a chrome sticker, clear on the top. All of them had this, and it's kind of an interesting way of doing it, and that way they could repaint and swap them if they really wanted to. So let's see. Let's get this guy transformed so we can use him as an accessory. That goes up. That goes up. All the legs fold up. That's all the articulation you really get. It's the legs folding in and out. And there we have. With the tail folded down, we have the hammer mode, because of course he turns into Breakdown's signature weapon. You can even see on these, they've got pegs and ports for combining with other weapons, and they had huge combinations that they would advertise on the back of packaging. So they really wanted you to kind of mix things up and just figure out what could be built out of all this stuff, which is kind of a play pattern I kind of like. And at the same time, I don't know, like, it's kind of the reason why this toy never made it to the US. Hasbro, according to them, they could have used the mold, but unfortunately, this, for whatever reason, the engineering involved, or just part count, I don't know economics. This was apparently too expensive to produce at the Voyager price point at the time. And I think one of the reasons they said was they would have to mold all of these out. I don't see why. Just make it a feature of the toy to have all these different pagan spots for different weapons. He could hold like a dozen weapons. How cool would that have been? But no, it is just what it is. So we'll take it as it is and go ahead and transform him, and we'll see what the US missed out on. I will say this guy is kind of frustrating to transform back, because a lot of these pegs and pins barely fit where they're supposed to go. So we'll get that big chunk of shell up. We unclip the side panels and fold out the legs, like so. You can already see a lot of the extra stickers coming up now. Fold out. Hang on. I wanted to go ahead and fold out the feet here, so we can get those parts out and get them out of the way. The legs themselves have a bit of an extra layer of transforming to them as well. You can see they do one of those little fold-up things that a lot of toys in Prime and afterwards started doing, which kind of helps do something with the bulk, and helps shore up the legs and form up something a little bit more solid, even though it's all just made of panels. It's a bit of clever engineering, and he's got a little bit of it going too. So the panels fold over, peg into the opposite side of the legs. That means the legs now get to look solid on both sides. That works out for me. All right, so rotate this around. And now we get to work on the actual torso. I'm going to go up to the top here. Thankfully, I haven't cut my nails because I need to get between these panels and split these open. These can rotate down to the sides a little bit just to get these parts clear. We can unpeg from the bumper. One side. Come on, come on. Unpeg, unpeg. There we go. This is a weird little shift because we got to get the shoulders out from under there, and you kind of have to pull them at an angle in order to get them to come out. So fold out a little bit, fold out a little bit, rotate down. There we go. Something right about there. Go ahead and straighten out the arms because we need to get them out of the way too. Oh, jeez. It's a really stiff joint in there. This is, I hate... might have to... There we go. Alright, so that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and fold these pieces over. That gives me the hands, like so. Up here, torso, there are some extra hinges that we can widen the shoulder stance at to get them out of the way. That being done, let's go ahead and start closing this guy up and shore up this robot mode. I'm going to... Oh, come on. Oh, well... So we can't do that until we actually split the chest, which This is one of the parts where I'm kind of happy they gave you an option of where stickers could go, because that's where I decided to put my Decepticon logo. I like that kind of, I really like that it actually fits in there without having to scrape the sticker or anything. That gives you the whole robots in disguise feel. The whole thing splits open and reveals the faction underneath. Alright, so that's all done. We can squeeze up the backpack, which does a decent job of going together. Alright, I believe once we straighten out the arms and get this guy standing tall how he's supposed to, we can go ahead and call that a transformation. That, my friends, is our War Breakdown in his full robot mode. He is a heavy built toy. Like, you can see he's got some more solid construction going on, even though there are some typical Prime paneling kind of things. But at the same time, you can see just how much bulk and mass there is to this toy. It doesn't explode the way bulkheads tend to do in this line, but he's got a lot that comes out of that vehicle mode, and he looks extremely powerful and very much up my alley aesthetically. As always with these demonstrations, the head comes first, and the head gives you a little bit of his G1 origins with the red face. He does have just a little bit of the classic breakdown in him there, but for the most part, he's definitely not the Stunticon that you would know that name to be. Looking very, very angry. It's a little bit Trax with the silver head and red face, but far angrier, far sharper, which is it's a Prime aesthetic, so that's what you would expect. But it works out pretty well for him. In this mode, we got a lot more of light gray showing. Actually, no light gray in the vehicle mode, so this color came out of nowhere. Lots of sharp lines going on for the shoulders as well as around the knees. It does have a very angular look to him, and a lot of those parts that were completely hidden in vehicle mode really kind of shine here. And there's still enough of the vehicle mode left to make me feel like, yeah, he is kind of built out of the vehicle mode's bulk. So that does make me feel better about it, especially with the torso here. I do like how the whole thing splits open. But as you can see, very wide stance, very, very heavy in the shoulders. Everything else works pretty well. For other details, we can see the hands are included. Fully painted hands, it looks like. It looks like it's black plastic painted over in gray. The same thing kind of going down here. Well, though, here, a lot of that is also done by sticker. The purple, all done by sticker detail. You can see it on both sides. Other stickers, the chrome, which is coming off on one side. Yeah, I definitely need... Oh man, that's completely coming off. I don't like how much stickering was done on these things. I so much prefer paint. Just let him come the way he looks in the show and just let him not fall apart like this on his own. This is one of the other downsides of the ARMS Micron line. Sometimes these stickers just did not go where they were supposed to go. Sometimes we gotta have to get creative with how it does not quite fit together the way it's supposed to and come up with something a little bit interesting to look at while it's still all securely stuck on, as securely as it would anyway. But yeah, these are especially susceptible to all the stickers coming up just because the knees and the legs are going to move so much, which gets frustrating. So let's go and get this toy over with because we're going long here. Head, ball jointed. It's plenty of up and down, but that long chin keeps him from going left or right too much. Ball joint at the shoulder, which does have a hinge up here, so he does get some universal movement, kind of restricted because of the extra kibble from the vehicle mode clashing with him. Full elbows go to about 90 degrees, as well as a bicep rotation above. Nothing in the wrist. Oh, you can just kind of flex it up and down. That's about it. The waist does work since it is part of the transformation. That's good to see. Ball jointed hips, full range of motion there, as well as a thigh swivel. 90 degrees at the knee, like that, and a rock back and forth at the foot, which means he has just about all the essential points of articulation that I like to see. And he comes up pretty good on the articulation front. Because he is such a big, wide, and bulky guy, I kind of get worried about balance and everything, but he does hold his positions pretty well. Now, if you want to armor him up and give him as many weapons as possible, you can see the ports are still available here around his head. 3 there alone, 1 there. There's the C clip. And you also have ports that are available at the top of his arms. But we know him to have a weapon coming out of his arm. So you can fold that fist back up and then go ahead and... Squeaky! I apologize to anyone wearing headphones. So as kind of an approximation of his, hammer coming out of wrist thing, that piece flips over and you can attach Zamu in his hammer mode directly to his arm, giving you enough of a look of his actual hammer arm look. It does look better from certain angles. Like from here, that works out fine. That looks completely correct. From the inside, yeah, not quite as much, as it's just kind of stuck in there. So it's a little bit of an imagination thing. It's a little bit of play, but hey, I'm glad that they thought to engineer a way for him to actually have his proper weapon attachment. So that works out pretty well. So that, my friends, is War Breakdown. I really don't see why Hasbro couldn't have brought this guy over. I mean, I don't know, repaint him a couple times and put him out there again. He's got a zombie mode. Repaint him for a zombie. Even in Japan, they did that with like a super creepy torso change. But for the most part, I think this thing should have come out in the US. It's a huge figure to be missing out of the line, and a really solid toy. This is one of the better figures out of the Prime line, and it's a shame it became so limited and hard to come by. And really, this thing needed a US release just so I could ditch those stickers and just have a nicely painted Breakdown. What is so wrong with wanting a painted Breakdown toy? Ah, well.